One expert suggests tapping personalities, influencers, and OFWs to help boost vaccine confidence among Filipinos. An investigation is now underway into an ammonia leak in Navotas City that killed 2 people and injured several others. The Foreign Affairs Department joined calls to release ousted Myanmar leader Aung San Suu Kyi. This is after Malacanang said that it would not interfere in Myanmar's internal affairs. And guidelines for the Tokyo Olympics are out. This time around, chanting during the games will not be a thing. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. Experts say the trend in new COVID-19 cases across the national capital region is flat. Despite this, officials are once again reminding the public to follow protocols as we wait for the rollout of vaccines. Greg Gregorio with a report.
At around 223,000, COVID-19 cases in Metro Manila account for the biggest chunk of infections in the country. But the UP OCTA research team is seeing a positive development on the trend of cases in the capital lately. In its recent analysis, the virus reproduction rate in the region has been stable at around 1. The reproduction rate, or R0, refers to how many is getting infected by a COVID-19 patient. According to experts, the R0 in NCR is at 0.98, which is below the threshold of 1. The rate is driven by a stable number of new infections recorded, which is at around 400.
It's good news in a way because we're trying to balance economy and gradually opening up. So we're trying to find that balance.
If the rate remains stable, the country's caseload might reach up to 575,000 by end February. But David said the situation is still manageable as their critical care utilization rate remains below 70%. The hospital utilization rate, meanwhile, in various LGUs is at 30 to 40%, despite increase of cases in some provinces.
What that means is we have enough bed capacity to handle the future cases. So it's not going to overwhelm our hospitals and our frontliners.
OCTA said we could further decrease the reproduction rate, but it will take a toll on the economy.
It's really difficult to reduce it to 0. I mean, we could if we want to, but that would be at great economic cost to reduce it to, let's say, 0 cases. And right now our economy is suffering, so we understand that, we balance it, and as long as we're not overwhelming the hospitals, we should be okay. That being said, syempre, people should still be vigilant and mindful about yung mga protocols.
As the country awaits the vaccines, the Food and Drug Administration is reminding the public to be compliant with protocols.
Kasi pagdating po ng araw ng bakuna, kapag kayo may sakit o nanghihina kayo, hindi po kayo maaaring bigyan ng bakuna.
At least 117,000 shots from Pfizer and 5 to 9 million from AstraZeneca are expected to arrive in the country starting this month. Russia's Gamaleya is also just waiting for the result of their emergency use application to start the delivery procedure. A representative believes that a 91.6% efficacy of Sputnik V is enough for the people to trust the shot.
Definitely, it's enough because the people who are reviewing the interim reports in the Lancet, as you would see, are on very respectable individuals in their respective fields.
Our FDA said they will decide on Gamaleya's EUA application within the month. For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
A group of researchers has suggested tapping influencers and overseas workers to boost vaccine confidence. Father Nick Austriaco, head of the UST COVAX Vaccine Awareness Team, told the chiefs that the government could employ the services of young actors and social media personalities to help curb vaccine hesitancy. Austriaco says that seeing influencers getting vaccinated in public could also boost confidence in vaccines among the youth. He also urged Catholic bishops to get vaccinated next to their mayors.
We need to have some young people with some young actor pairs. So these are the kind of people my students would like to be vaccinated in public. So we are going to reach out to them eventually as well.
Austriaco is also a member of the OCTA research team, and he urged 1,000 vaccinated OFWs in the United States to share their testimonials online. Flooding social media with stories of those already inoculated could also increase the confidence on the part of Filipinos on COVID-19 vaccines. So far, Moderna and Pfizer's vaccines have been rolled out in the United States.
We would like them to send us selfies with testimonies of what it was like for them to be vaccinated. What we want to impress is to have all of these 1,000 Filipinos tell their kababayans that it was okay.
The Health Department reported over 1,500 new COVID-19 infections. And that brings the country's total caseload to above 531,000, some 32,000 of which are still considered active. Around 94% are asymptomatic or mild cases. The virus killed 55 more patients overnight, pushing the death toll to almost 11,000. Meanwhile, almost 488,000 have gotten better from the disease, with 249 recoveries reported today. We'll have more stories after this quick break. Stay with us. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Investigation is now underway after an ammonia leak at an ice plant in Navotas left 2 people dead and several others injured. The company turns out to be partially owned by the mother of City Mayor Toby Tiangco. Marlene Alcaide with the details.
Residents in Barangay NBBS proper Sitio Santo Niño in Navotas City had to evacuate immediately after an ammonia leak caused by an explosion at an ice plant yesterday. 2 employees of the TP Marcelo ice plant died, while at least 90 others were brought to the hospital.
Masakit sa mata, masakit sa ilong, masakit sa lalamunan. Yun ang naramdaman ko. Tumakbo kami doon. Hanggang doon. Uminom kami ng tubig. Ang daming nag-iiyakan.
Sabog talaga, te. Kasi alam mo kung bakit? Yung anak ko sabi niya, Mama, sumabog bahay natin? Ay kanina nga lang po, nang may pumutok na gulong, naglabasan sila eh. Traumatized po kami.
Inside the plant, ruptured ammonia tanks and obliterated walls can be seen a day after the leak. Liquid ammonia is used as a refrigerant in ice plants. Too much exposure to this may cause lung damage or death.
Hindi nga siya mapuputol, hindi siya mabibiyak, hindi siya mararupture kung walang force. Sabihin na natin kung explosion yon. So, kailangan natin malaman kung anong naging cause niya.
Ammonium levels are still high inside the ice plant, which is why authorities are having a hard time finishing their investigation. For now, they are getting testimonies from the plant workers.
Ang possible is nag-overpressure, merong hot work na ginawa, possible yon, or siyempre yung kalumaan ng possible din yun na luma na yung ating tangke. Lahat po yung titingnan natin, kaya lang kailangan natin ng scientific na process para masabi natin exactly kung anong pinagmulan. At siyempre yung mga testimony na ibibigay ng ating mga testigo.
The ice plant turns out to be owned by the family of Navotas Mayor Toby Chanco. The company vows to shoulder the expenses of the victims.
Lahat po ng nagastos ng pamahalang gobyerno ng Navotas, gumawa na po ako ng memo na computein lahat ng gastos at papadala namin sa kumpanya. No? Normally, hindi naman natin gagawin yan. Pero ito is a very sensitive situation. Kung nanay ko po is 25% owner of that plant, hindi po dahil siya ay nag-invest dyan, kung hindi dahil minana niya po yan.
The LGU is also planning to conduct counseling sessions for those who were traumatized by the incident. For News 5, Marlene Alcaide, we are One News.
The Philippines has changed its tune on the military coup in Myanmar. Malacanang had earlier said that it would not interfere in the neighboring country's matters. To give us the details, Ria Fernandez joins us live from Mandaluyong. Hi Ria, good afternoon. What did the Foreign Affairs Department have to say about the detainment of Aung San Suu Kyi now that they've changed their tune?
Sean, at a Senate committee hearing today, the Foreign Affairs Department expressed deep concern about Suu Kyi, whom the military had detained along with other key officials in Myanmar. Foreign Affairs Secretary Teodoro Locsin Jr. joined the calls to free Suu Kyi, saying he will talk to China and India but not with the United States for the release of Myanmar's democratic icon. The Foreign Affairs Chief also defended Suu Kyi, saying that she is brilliant and gave her everything for her people's liberation. He believes the fate of Suu Kyi and Myanmar is the work of the West for its thirst for oil resources. Meanwhile, the Senate panel also tackled the call of South Africa and India to WTO to suspend intellectual property rights for COVID-19 vaccines and medicines. The country said that this will ensure that poor nations will have fair access to these technologies. However, resource persons told the panel that the government must thoroughly study the proposal first before making a position. But Senator Risa Ontiveros said there's nothing to lose if the Philippines decides to back it. Locsin agreed with Ontiveros but asked what the country stands to gain from this. Ontiveros explained that the Philippines could benefit by having easier access to the vaccines. Due to varying positions, Pimentel postponed the discussion on the matter and directed resource persons to submit their position papers. Sean, the Senate Foreign Relations panel also talked today about the new China law that allows the China Coast Guard to fire on foreign vessels inside its territory. But due to the sensitivity of the matter, the panel went on an executive session. Sean?
All right, thanks for that update, Ria Fernandez, joining us live from Mandaluyong City. Here are other stories we're keeping our eyes on. President Duterte has approved the purchase of 15 additional Black Hawk helicopters. Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles said this will address the deficiency in heavy-lift helicopters at the Philippine Air Force. The acquisition of Black Hawk choppers came after the fatal Huey crash in Bukidnon that killed 7. President Duterte attends the change of command ceremony for the Armed Forces of the Philippines in Camp Aguinaldo this afternoon. Outgoing AFP Chief of Staff Gilbert Gapay will be replaced by Army Commander Lieutenant General Cirilito Sobejana. And the COMELEC will open voter registration on Saturday starting this month. COMELEC spokesperson James Jimenez said that this should encourage more Filipinos to register to vote in the 2022 polls. Currently, only around 1.2 million voters have registered, far less than the COMELEC's 4 million target. And Olympic officials have announced the first of many extraordinary measures for the Tokyo Games come July. Among these are the ban on singing and chanting during events and the mandatory wearing of face masks at all times except when eating or sleeping. Officials and athletes are also not allowed to use public transport without permission. Violators could face removal from the games and other penalties. This, though, might still not put the Japanese public at ease, as many of them are increasingly opposed to the hosting of the quadrennial games amid the pandemic. For more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.